So today we are going to be talking about Facebook pages and with a focus on either sole proprietors or small businesses. Social media can be really frustrating for people, and it's really just a matter of learning how to use it correctly and putting a little bit of effort into it. And then you get the hang of it. It seems so much easier, and then it seems to start to work for you instead of against you. So hopefully this webinar will get you going in that direction. This is just a little bit about my background. I'm not going to bother reading it. It's just to let you know that I have some experience in marketing and social media. It's fun. I find it fun, social media. And I realize that a lot of people don't. And that's exactly why I'm doing these webinars, so that it won't be so painful and so horrible for you. Hopefully you'll learn some things that'll just make it a little bit easier so you can carry on with what you want to do and stop worrying about social media so much. All right, so why consider having a Facebook page in the first place? So what we're going to do today is we're just going to do a little bit of an overview about Facebook, starting here, and then we're actually going to start creating a Facebook page. So we're going to go live on Facebook and create a page and take you step by step through everything. So I'm sure you have heard that you need to pay for everything now on Facebook. And that's kind of true in some ways when you have a page. But there are good reasons to have a Facebook page. One of the reasons is everybody's already on Facebook. I mean, most of the world has a Facebook account. So why would you ignore a platform where everybody already is there? So you might as well take advantage of that. You're probably on Facebook as well. I know that I do meet people that aren't on Facebook, but even though I say I don't like Facebook as much as Twitter, I still go on to Facebook because I want to check out what my friends and my colleagues are doing. The other advantage to having a Facebook page is just getting in front of the people where they are. If they're on Facebook, then you should be there too. It just makes good business sense. And as I alluded to with the advertising and having to pay for Facebook, that's true. Facebook is going to limit how much reach your post gets when you have a Facebook page as opposed to a personal page. But the targeted advertising feature on Facebook, if you're willing to pay, and not a whole lot, just a little bit of money. If you're willing to pay, the targeted advertising features are actually really, really good on Facebook. So if that's part of your business plan, you definitely want to consider being on Facebook and having a page. So the downside of Facebook, there is that ugly side of Facebook. And that is, no matter how many likes you have on your page, Facebook will limit how many people can see it. Now, if you've been on Facebook for a long time, you probably know that this was a change. It used to be that you could really build a huge following on Facebook and people would see your posts. And this was a strategic thing on the part of Facebook in order to earn money. And, you know, we all have to earn money in order to stay in business. So while we might not like it, that's what they chose to do. It's frustrating for me. Because with some of my pages, especially one I'm going to show you today, which I did just for fun, I'm not willing to pay for advertising. But you can still build a page, even though not everybody can see it. The only trick to that is you're just going to have to work really hard, or definitely harder than we used to have to work to get the same effect. So we have to work harder if we want to do it for free. If you're willing to pay for advertising, you can probably do it a bit quicker. So that's the downside, but we're just going to work with it. All right, we're coming to this from the business point of view, that you're coming onto Facebook pages with a purpose. You want to build your business. Perhaps you want to build some brand awareness, or you want to increase your credibility, demonstrate your expertise. Now, for those of you who were actually here last week for the Twitter, you'll notice that this is the same slide as last week. And that's because what you're trying to do with social media is pretty much going to be the same across all platforms. However, how you implement that and the strategy that you use to achieve that is going to be different for each platform. But you're still going to use Facebook to try to grow awareness of your business or your personal brand, or you might be trying to build a mailing list. You can also use Facebook for seeking out influencers and partners. Actually, Facebook's a great place to start partnering with people. It's all just a matter of figuring out how to use these social media platforms properly. And we're going to achieve this same ways on Twitter. We're going to share original content. We're going to curate content from other people. Or maybe we'll do a mix of both. And then we're going to engage with people on our pages. And not just people who come and like our page, but with other pages as well. That's how you know you're really on the right track, is when you start engaging with other pages and you start promoting and helping each other. Then you know, I'm really onto something here. This is going to work out for me. I talked about going native on Twitter. Going native is pretty important these days. So what happened was, in the old days, you could share links and they would render through regardless of what the platform was. So if you had a link to a photograph on a different platform, it would still come through on Twitter or something like that. Then I don't remember which platform was first, but one of the platforms, even LinkedIn did this, said I'm going to shut down that ability of Instagram or whatever platform it was to render nicely on my site, because I want to focus and make all of the people using my site just stick to my site. So they all started to get a little proprietary. So Twitter did this. Facebook did this. Facebook has really done this a little bit to the extreme with video. And some of you might not realize this yet. I'm sure you've noticed you're seeing a lot more video on Facebook. But what Facebook is doing is it's strongly encouraging Facebook page admins to upload videos directly to Facebook, and you will be rewarded for that. If you pull a video from from YouTube, then Facebook will penalize you from that. So this is this whole go native movement. Now, luckily, Twitter hasn't done that with the YouTube videos, so the YouTube videos still render very nicely over there. But if you want to share videos on Facebook, you really have to upload the video directly to Facebook. A lot of people haven't quite caught on to that yet. So just keep that in the back of the mind if you have a Facebook page already, or if you plan to start one, that you'll need to do that. All right, so just some thoughts on staying out of trouble with Facebook pages. All right, now I have a couple questions here. Tim is asking about what is the penalization for using YouTube? Well, the penalization is they're not going to share that post. So say you have 10,000 people who like your Facebook page, very, very few people are going to see that link to YouTube. That's how they're going to penalize you. All right, so staying out of trouble. Well, as I was saying before, one of the things that causes you to lose followers on your page, and funny enough, I'm the kind of person who goes and likes a page, and then pretty much I just continue liking that page. Unless the page does something to really annoy me, I'm not going to bother going and unliking a page. But as a page owner, I find people unlike pages all the time. It's like they like a page. I'm only guessing this. And then like a couple days later, they say, nah, I don't like it. And they unlike pages. Unliking is something that happens regularly. What I have noticed is that if you do a rapid succession of posts on Facebook, say 3 or 4 posts within 1 hour, that's the number one thing that will drive people to unlike your page. So what you want to do is spread your posts across time. And I know how this happens because you're flipping through Twitter or you're flipping through your news feed and you're finding all this great content. You think, oh, that's great. Let me share that. Oh, that's great. Let me share that. But your followers do not want to see it like that. So what you need to do is use the schedule feature and do continue to share those posts. Just put 3 hours in between when they appear on your wall. And I'll show you how to do that a little bit. The other thing I really want to emphasize is about giving credit where credit is due. So when it comes to photographs, other people's photographs, not your own, don't remove other people's watermarks. So if their name or their company or something is on the photos, I actually did a post on my Facebook wall comparing two photos. I shared a photo, and I like to know who took the photo, so I tracked down the original photo. The original photo actually had a watermark on it of the photographer, and somebody had cropped it off and then uploaded it to Facebook, so it looked like it was their own. Don't do that. It doesn't build nice, warm partnerships. Also, acknowledge the source of a photo or a post. So a lot of times Facebook will allow you to bring through which page or which person the post came from. Don't delete that. Don't have this mentality of, oh, if I show my followers where that came from, they're going to go over there and they're not going to follow me anymore. No, what you're going to do is you're going to start building a partnership with that other page owner, and that can be very rewarding. So come to this with a point of view of abundance rather than starvation. Also, list the photographer's name if the sharing information doesn't pull through. So if it's not really clear who the photographer is, I'm going to actually write it in the text, because I want to give credit to the photographer. So I want to give credit to wherever the information came from if it's not my own. And then the other thing, people find a photo or a post or something that they really like and they want to share it, but for some reason they can't figure out how to share it, or, as I mentioned before, they want to get rid of the sharer's information. So they figure, oh, well, let me just download the photo and then upload the photo on my page. No big deal, right? Well, what happens when you do that is it looks like that's your photo. And that, well, it's kind of copyright infringement, and it's just not cool. So don't do that. There are a lot of people, you'll have to decide how you choose to do your page. I'm going to show you my Explore Historic Houses page in just a minute or a couple minutes. On my page, I really try never to share photographs where I don't know where they came from. And I have actually stopped sharing photos from some people's sites because I can't tell if the person posting it took the photo themselves or if they just got it from somewhere else. It makes me a little uncomfortable. So anyways, I don't want to harp on this too much, but just think about that when you're doing your page. And, if you respect the other page owners and you respect the photographers out there, especially the professional photographers, and you really kind of promote them, they will really, really appreciate that. And in the end, it will help your page. It will definitely help your page, and they will be supportive of you. So in order to have success onto Facebook, and we're going to, right after this, we're going to go create a live account. Number one, you need to have a goal. Why are you on Facebook to start with? You need to be able to answer that question. It could be something really simple, like I'm a public speaker and I want more people to know that I'm a public speaker so that people will hire me. Or I'm really good at photography and I want people to know that. If you're a business, if you're a restaurant, something like that, you want people to know about your restaurant so people will go. So whatever it is, have a goal. Know why you're there. The next thing, create a strategy and a plan. If you don't actually have a strategy for how you're going to use Facebook, you're just kind of blindly going forward hoping that it's going to work. It's much better to have a plan. I'm going to give you a resource at the end that will help you with that. Brainstorm types of content to share. One of my favorite things of all to do is to brainstorm. And I love brainstorming because it releases you from the obligation of being cornered into a box, being shut in. Like when you're brainstorming, you can think of anything you want. So when you're brainstorming around your business, your expertise, try to think about everything you love about what you do, not just what you put out sort of as a product or as a service. Really kind of like when I created my Explore Historic Houses page, I was really focused on house histories. And then one point I thought, wow, no, I got to expand beyond that. And I just started to think about everything that I love about historic houses. And that made me think of so many different types of content that I could share. So allow yourself that exercise of brainstorming. Encourage engagement on your page with the followers and with let them interact with each other. And the other thing is respond quickly to followers. This is one of the hardest things to do. And I admit this is hard for me too, because sometimes we just get so busy. But if you want to grow your page quickly, respond to the people on your page quickly. If somebody leaves you a comment, they want a response. They want acknowledgement that you read their comment. So try to do it. Try really hard to do that. I'm still working on it, but we have another whole page of successes here, right? More things to keep you on track. Vary your type of posts. Use a mix of text posts, photos, links, and videos. Videos might be harder, but at least you can do text, photos, and links. Ask questions. You don't have to post a photo or a video. Just ask a question. Sometimes those will be the best posts and the most response that you'll get from the people who follow your page. Also, give shout outs to people and promote your peeps. Promote the people who are on the page. Get to know them. And if you find something interesting about them because they respond to something you've posted and they share, ask them more about that and then promote them. Encourage them to share on the page and then share it back to the page so everybody can see it. When somebody posts to your page, not everybody will necessarily see it. So this is a quirky little thing where you actually take somebody's post and share it back to your page, and then everybody or a lot of people will see it. Build relationships through sharing, and that by sharing other pages' content. And when you find good sources, you want to acknowledge them. A lot of times I will not just post something, but I'll say, hey, here's a post from the Front Door Project, and make sure that you go over and like their page too. And help build people up, and they will also want to build you up. And then the last tip I'm going to give you before we get started creating an account is to stay on topic. This is a business page, professional page, and the best thing you can do for the people who are coming to your page and liking it, they are there because of a specific reason, whatever your topic is. Don't necessarily post about your vacation to Florida or something like that. If it gets too off topic, you are going to lose people. All right, let's go over to Facebook and see if I can do this. Okay, here we are on my Facebook page. It's very messy. So we start here. What you're going to do is you're going to click on the little F icon, the little Facebook icon, and you're going to go down to Pages. See where it says Pages there? And go to Create Page. It's going to bring you to this screen. This is how it all starts. This is probably the most confusing screen that you're going to have to deal with when it comes to Facebook pages. So I'm just going to flip through this a little bit. The biggest challenge you're going to have right at the beginning is figuring out what you want to call yourself. Do you want to call yourself an author? Are you starting a community? Like my Explore Historic Houses page is a community page. So I would go over here. That's how I created that one. I have another page that's simply called Mary and Pierre-Louis. And that I actually listed as a media news company. You could, like I mentioned before, have professional services. You could be a local business. So let me show you some of these things. Okay, so artist, band, or public figure, you'd click into there, and then you choose a category. So this is where you're going to find author or blogger. Business person, it's kind of funny. Chef, I mean, it's just kind of like boring. Why would you call yourself that? Photographer, public figure, a teacher, writer. So if you don't want to be an author, you can be a writer. There's lots of different options here. Local business. So this local business one actually provides slightly different functionality than the other options because this really ties into the street address. So if you have a physical location, even if you don't, because funny enough, professional services is located here. And this one is company, organization, institution. So what you really have to do is go through, let's see, I think they have like museums and stuff. Oh, yeah, here's the media news publishing. That's the one I chose. Schools are in here. Nonprofits are in here. There's all sorts of, you just sort of have to figure it out. So if you're a brand or product, you're going to come in and see what they have here. Entertainment. So these are options here. All right, what we're going to do is we're going to do local business because I'm going to choose professional services for this one. And I'm going to do, that's what my test one earlier. So we're going to do Marion's house photography. Okay. And then we'll call this, just making this up. Now, be careful here. The first time I did this, I tried to type. And what you really need to do is once you start, you need to select their geographic location that comes up. Now, I'm just making this up. This is totally a hypothetical thing. I don't have a house photography business, and none of this information is true, as you can see by this phone number. And there's the terms of service if you want to read that. All right, so we're going to get started now. Okay, so Facebook is going to take us through these 4 stages to fill out our new page. Now, again, this box is, they want you to pull from their categories. So I messed up a lot when I was doing this because I was trying to type in my own categories. But see how I wrote hist, and then it came up with history, museum, historical place. So you want to let it render to their thing. So let me put... I wonder if I can do historic. Well, let's do historical place because I'm doing historical houses. And then I'll do photographer. And we have to put a little description. So we're just pretending here that I'm a house photographer as a business. And I did a fake page here. It doesn't actually go anywhere. But you would put your website there. Okay, so is Marion's house photography a real establishment, business, or venue? Now, this is a really interesting section. Pay attention to this when you're building your page because people create pages about businesses even when they don't own the businesses. So, like, if they're fans, okay? So will Marion's house photography be the authorized and official representation of this establishment, okay? So Facebook wants to know, okay, are you a real business? Are you the official site? If not, it's just really kind of, so if I say no, you can say, it's saying, do you want to connect? So like if you're doing like a Harry Potter fan page, do you want to connect to the actual Harry Potter page? Okay, so in this case, I'm going to go back and say yes, because it's my business and it's official. Just keep that in mind. All right, so I'm going to save that, and we're going to move on to number 2. Number 2 is profile picture. Okay, so on Facebook, your profile has to be 180 pixels by 180 pixels. Oh, Greg is asking if there are any surprises hidden in the terms of service. I don't know. I would go to the legalgenealogist.com website and see if Judy Russell has written anything on the terms of service. All right, so let's get back to this. Here, we're going to upload from the computer. You need it to be 180 by 180. I would recommend that you actually edit it ahead of time. There we go. I've given it a photo, so there's my mug. We'll click next. Now, this says add your page to your favorites to easily access it anytime. I don't know why Facebook is pushing that. There's nothing wrong with adding it to favorites. I'm not going to add it to my favorites just because I'm going to delete this page, but you could do that, and then it'll just turn up in your favorites bar on the left-hand side of your page. So I'm going to hit skip. Preferred page audience, this is really referring to advertising. So if you're going to advertise on your page, perhaps it would make sense to do this, but otherwise I'd say skip this because it's really, I don't see how it's going to help you. It's really just trying to help you so that when you choose to pay for advertising, you'll be a little bit set up. So I'm going to skip that. All right, so here's my page now. So we've got Marion's House Photography. And I'm going to close this. And you can see the name up there. I don't know why it has numbers after it, but you can change that later so that it is more of a vanity just with the name that you want. The one thing that we don't have here, we've got the profile photo, but we don't have a cover photo. So let's take care of that right away. So we're going to do, now it says choose from photos. That makes sense later, but when you've just created a page, it makes no sense because you haven't uploaded anything yet. Now the cover photo should be 851 pixels by 315. And I will share this link in the chat so you can have that if you want to bookmark it. But really, all you have to do is go to Google Images, and search for Facebook profile image size. And then you will find lots and lots of charts that look like this. I thought this one wasn't the nicest looking one, so this is the only reason I use this one. Okay, so the profile picked is 180 by 180. The cover image is 851 by 315. This one is actually kind of nice because when these two images are rendered, the profile kind of blocks part of the image. So it's showing you how big this area is in case you want to match it up exactly so that you don't block anything. All right, so I have pulled in that image, and I'm just going to hit save. And so now we have a basic page. The next thing we're going to do is, all right, so we'll do this. So Facebook wants me to like my own page. I guess they're trying to teach me how to do that, and it's asking me to invite my friends. I don't want to go on with this anymore, so I'm going to close it. What we need to do is look at the settings. So that's up here in the right-hand corner. So we'll start with General. Excuse me. Again, the first thing here, if you want to add to favorites and you haven't done it yet, you can do it there. Page visibility. I would recommend when you create your page, you go right in and do unpublished page. Okay. Now my page is unpublished. Nobody can see it. So for 5 or 10 minutes there, people could actually see my page. But now they can't because I've unpublished that. When I want to come back and publish it, I just go to that and uncheck it. And then bang, my page is visible. So it just allows you a little bit of time to get your page to the state that you want it to be in before you make it public. All right, what else? Visitor posts. So that's letting anybody post on your wall. You should do that. You want to encourage engagement, so you wouldn't want to block people from posting on your wall. And you want to allow people to message you. Tagging ability, you probably don't want people to tag you. All right, country restrictions. So if there's a particular country that you realize people are spamming from, I'm just going to randomly pick like Nigeria, just not for any particular reason, but say you could put that country here and then anybody from that country would be blocked from accessing your page. Now, I don't use that because I think it's easier to block people at the individual level than at the country level. And the people who really want to spam are probably, I don't know, but they probably find a way to have a different country listed anyway. So age restrictions, this is important if you have any material that shouldn't be viewed by certain ages. There's also alcohol related here. So I don't know if there's any rules associated with alcohol that you have to declare that. There probably are. And page moderation. So you can block words here. If it doesn't even have to necessarily be bad words because they have a profanity filter down here, but could be competitors' names, whatever words you want to block, you can block them right here. And, similar page suggestions. I definitely wanted to mention this to you. So what happens is if somebody likes your page, underneath they will get a little pop-up, and it'll show like 3 other pages, and they're similar pages to your page. And what this is saying is let similar pages appear when people like your page. And I would say, yes, go ahead and do that. I do that all the time. Like I'll like a page and then these suggestions will come up and then I'll like some of those other pages as well. If you do not check that box, then your page will not appear in the suggested pages. So if you want to play the game, you got to be in the game. But if for whatever reason you don't, then that's fine. You can uncheck that. And there is a feature here. If you have multiple pages for whatever reason, you can ask Facebook to merge them here. And then the last one is if you want to delete your page. So you can do that right there. Messaging. This is kind of a newer feature in Facebook pages. So if you have had a Facebook page for a while, but you haven't really been very active, you might not have noticed that there's messaging now. So we've always had the chance to get messages from people, but now they actually start ranking you based on how quickly you respond to people, and that appears on the front page on the left. So they can see what your average response time is, but you can actually control that. So instead of the default is to let it average it, but you can say you typically respond right away, but you don't want people to necessarily know that. Give yourself a little breathing room. You can put here typically replies in a day. Outside business hours. I'll get back to this because we have to activate the hours before we can do that. All right, page info. Let me try and get through this quicker. Oh, right. We will go back to that in a minute. Because we've got, I've got to do it this way. Okay, post attribution. This is important. You can post either as the page or as yourself. I typically always post as the page. I think that it gets greater visibility that way. But if you have a reason to post as yourself instead, and if you need to vary it, you can do it here. Notifications. These are giving you notifications for all these things that are happening on your page. If you don't want to get that many notifications, turn them off. Page roles. Okay, I do want to talk about this. So when you create a page, you are the admin automatically. You can add other people on to your page. So some of the roles are admin. Now, I don't recommend adding somebody on to your Facebook page as an admin unless they're like a legal business partner. Because when you make them an admin, you're giving them the ability to delete your page. So you would want to do one of these: editor, moderator, advertiser, analyst. No. Okay, we've done with that one. Here we go. I think it's right. Yeah, here we go. This just is a little chart. Here, I'll put this in the chat box so you can see that. So I just put a link to this chart. This spells out exactly what everybody can do. So if you give somebody admin rights, they can do everything. Editor can do everything but change the settings, and so on. The two you will most likely use if you're going to work with somebody else is either editor or moderator. Because we're sole proprietors or small businesses, you might be hiring advertisers or analysts. And if that's the case, you can select these features. So just know that that option is there. All right. And I think I'm going to skip the rest of this stuff. So let's go back to page info. And what it said there is it's moved. Basically, if you click this About button, it takes you to page info. Because this is a local business, the emphasis on this page is on the address and the phone and the website. So I'm going to add hours here. And let's see. Today is Tuesday, so let's just say 9 to 5. Let's see if I can change. And I'm just going to do different hours. Okay. So let's add that. And I'm going to go back to the timeline for a second. Oops, I don't want to. Guess I have to say, there we go. All right, let me go back to the timeline. And now we can see. Oh, that's weird. It's a little kludgy in Facebook when you're doing the days. I had done Tuesday, I thought 9 to 5, and I tried to do Wednesday a different hour, and it keeps reverting all of the days to the same hours. You just have to know that you have to be careful doing that. But so what it does when you add hours is it says open or closed, which is, I like that actually when I go to a Facebook page and I can see whether a place is open right now or not, especially if I was heading out the door. Yeah, June is saying I didn't, I had to save each one individually. Thank you, June. So there you go. Set the hours and then save each one individually. I'm going to go back to about, because really beyond that, what I want to show you is page info. And there's a lot of stuff here under page info. You can do the start date. So they have these options here: born, founded, started, open. So I'll do founded and the year. Same changes. Sounds nice when you write founded. And so now that is filled out. Again, this is through the About tab. And, let me just point this out. The impressum. So this is something here. If you click here, it says in certain countries such as Austria, Germany, and Switzerland, they may be required by law to include a statement. So that's what that's for. I never knew what that was, but I was talking to my friend Ursula from Germany just within the last 2 weeks about this exact topic because she had it on her website. So that is there if you happen to be in Europe and you need that. Long description. This is something you should fill out. Spend a little time figuring out what you want to say about your business, and you can put a long description here. I won't take the time to do that right now, but definitely. They have a lot of details here for this local. So they've got street, parking lot. So they're really focused on helping people get to the business. Okay. These other tabs, well, we won't bother with... let me do some posts first because the photo tab is pretty useless without any photos on your page. All right, so our first type of post is a text post. Of course, I can't type. All right, there we go. So there we go, a simple text, and that's it. These are great for asking questions. Just post a question and hope that your followers see it and they answer. That's the first type. The next one is a photo post. So I'm going to go up here. I'm going to click on a photo. It's bringing the photo in. And while it's doing that, I'll just say, okay. So we published that. That's a simple photo. There's no link. It's just text. Now we're going to do a link. Let's use this one. It doesn't matter if you type first or put your link first. I just tend to type first. Okay, so it worked that time. Doesn't always work. For those of you who have Facebook pages already, you ever notice that sometimes you put your text and then the link and then nothing happens down here or the picture doesn't come through? What I would do in that case is I would grab all this stuff, I'd right click and do a copy, and then I would leave this page. I'm not going to do it right now, but I would leave this page and then I'd come back and I would repaste it, and then typically the photo will render through. Okay, so I have posted some text and a link. The link has rendered through with an image, a headline, and some information. I typically delete the URL. It doesn't matter you can do whatever you like, and we'll publish that. Okay, so now we've got a link post. Now we're going to do a photo with a link. Let's see, we'll go here. And so in this case, I have pulled the photo in first, and I've added some text. And I want to then add a link. When I add the link after I add the photo, the link does not render through. Now you're probably sitting there going, why on earth do we need to know this? Well, there are some links that you're going to have that maybe they don't have photos on them, or for whatever reason, they just don't render well. The way to get around it is to do your photo and then do a link of your choice. It's just a way around it. And that way it won't render the photo, but it'll still be clickable. Cheryl is saying, I read that Facebook favors posts with URLs kept in the text. Oh, that's interesting. You know, it doesn't really matter. Sometimes, I mean, they might, but it doesn't matter if you leave the URL there. I don't think people are particularly sensitive to it, so I think it's perfectly fine to just leave the URL. And let's see, Angela is saying, I've noticed that one can also paste a photo that has not been saved if you have cut the photo from your own gallery. Interesting. Okay. Oh, just cut and paste function. Okay, I've never tried that, Angela, so thanks for mentioning that. All right. Now I want to show you uploading a video. So you actually have to link the MP4 file to, so this window comes up. You can add a title here. There's quite a lot of video controls now. There's a whole page that you can use, and there's this advanced page as well. And then you can actually select a category for this if you wanted to change it, make it entertainment, whatever. And then you can do a call to action. Actually, this is really important if you are creating videos as part of your business. So you would want to select one of these. Well, you might want to direct people to your store, but I would choose watch more. And then I would direct people to either maybe you could send them to a YouTube page, but you'd probably want to send them to your website. That website doesn't actually have any videos on it, but I'm just doing it for example. And then publish. Okay. Oops. All right. So after you hit that publish button, normally it goes away. Yeah, there you go. So it says your video is now processing. We will send you a notification when it's ready to view. So you can close, carry on with what you're doing, and then it'll let you know when your video is ready. It usually just takes a minute. All right. Another really important thing that I want to share with you about, so here is the link. It's telling me that the video is now ready.
Pierre-Louis here.
Okay, and so there it is. And let me just refresh this so you see it. Okay, so now here's the video right here. And you hit play and you watch it right from here. So before I guess they used to let you actually watch YouTube videos direct from Facebook, but now I think they've taken that away. You can still click through to a link, but the way people get around that whole YouTube thing is what they do is they take their YouTube video, they embed it into a blog post, and then they share the blog post to Facebook. So if you don't want to upload your videos direct to Facebook, if you don't want to go native, then you can do it this way. All right, this next part is really important. And this is in relations to image size. So the text here is not really that important. What I care about is, okay. So if your image is too small, what will happen is that it will render like this. And so instead of coming through really big, like these other images, it will come through as a little side thing. Now that's okay, but it's not really ideal. Facebook recommends that you use 600 pixels wide by 315. And I put that measurement in your chat box. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Image sizes. Let me put this link here in your chat as well. This section here is actually called Sharing Best Practices for Websites and Mobile Apps. But they have a nice little section here on the whole image thing that I'm talking about. So you want to optimize image to generate great previews. So they're suggesting 600 by 315. They're saying, 1200 by 630 is even better. And if it's too small, it'll look like this. I have heard that the magic number is 477 pixels. So your image needs to be 477 pixels wide if you're going to get the big image. The big image just looks so much better than this little one, and it will just attract attention so much better. All right, sharing from another page. This is, yep. Just got two more things to show you in regards to sharing posts. All right, so we've got this post here. You can curate from other pages and bring it over to your page. So I like this post because I like to take pictures of old houses. So therefore, I'm going to hit the share button. And you don't want to do share now because that's going to go to your personal timeline. So you hit this second share button. Then you go up here. You see all your options on a friend's timeline in a group, but this is the one you want, on a page you manage. Then it's going to list all the pages that you're involved with. I've got too many, but this is the one I want, Marion's House Photography. I'm going to hit Share Photo. And now it says it's successfully over there. I'm just going to go back. And now here is the photo on my page. And this is what I was talking about earlier, about giving people credit, not getting rid of that. So this says that I shared this from Home in New England. Lisa is asking, so do you mean 477 pixels wide in a blog post that you write that you share through Facebook? Yes. Thank you for clarifying that, Lisa. That's exactly what I mean. So if you are creating blog content, which I hope you are, you want to include a photo. And that photo needs to be 477 pixels wide at the minimum if it's going to render through as a big picture in Facebook. This is why you now see all these large photos at the top of blog posts from all the, like the big social media sites and all that, because it won't render through. So Facebook is suggesting 600, but really the magic number is 477. Okay, so there's a shared post. All right, and then the last thing I want to show you, I'll just use this link again, is how to schedule. Now, I told you at the beginning that if you bombard people with posts all the time, that they will get annoyed and they will unlike your page. So you can come here. So let's just say I'm going to paste this. Okay. I've already shared this before, but I just want to show you how to do this. You come down here where it says publish, click the little arrow here and hit, look at, they have backdate here. You can save as a draft. I never use that, but it might be a good thing to do. You can backdate or schedule. And this is the feature I use all the time. So you just come here and just say 4 o'clock. So I might go and find 4 or 5 links that I like, either on Twitter or Instagram or something like that. And then I'll go to Facebook and I'll just save them all, but I'll make them 3 or 4 hours apart using this scheduling feature. So now it comes up like this, and one post is scheduled. And then if you say, oops, I did a typo, it's okay. You just say see post and you click on it and then you go here. Oh, why did it do that? Huh. I don't know why it's doing that, but then, I don't know why it's giving me a hard time. Maybe I got to do, here, I'm pressing the wrong button. See, computers are not dumb. Human operators are dumb. So I have to click edit. I wonder what happens there. Okay, so there are some other options there. But if you want to edit the text, just hit edit, and then you can edit. This is a great house. There we go. save. Now it still hasn't published. All I did was edit the post. So I go back to page, and then it's sitting there waiting. Sometimes I'll have like 3 posts scheduled on a good day. On a bad day, I won't have any scheduled. But so that's a great feature to use. All right, so now we are going to leave this page behind because it doesn't have enough history. But let me just point out here, let's just see if some of our tabs, these aren't rendering really quickly here. Let's see if it comes up with the tabs. Come on. All right. Let me show you this real quick, and then we'll move on to my other page. You can, you have about, photos, reviews, likes, videos. Say I don't really want reviews, or I don't want it to be visible. So I can come here and I can move reviews down here. Let's say I'm going to do a lot of videos. I'll put that up there behind photos, and then I'll hit save. So it's really kind of slow, this. It's annoying. There we go. Okay, so now videos is here, and if you want to find reviews, you're going to have to click. Nobody ever clicks. But photos now, because we've made some posts, you can see the photos that have been posted to the page. All right, now we're going to go to Explore Historic Houses, and we're going to show you the behind the scenes of my existing page. So I created this page totally for fun. And my intent was not to make money off of it or anything like that. So I just made it as a community. So some of the things that you'll see here that you don't see on the other page just because it's new, you'll see this feature here. So this week we've got a post reach of 6,000 plus. And if you hover over it, you see the last 3 posts and how much each one of those has reached. And yeah, I'm showing you my statistics here. I don't have a problem with it. It's just a fun page, and I use this actually as my experimentation lab, and I'll explain that in just a minute. But I use this to figure out how to work Facebook. So post engagement. Engagement is how are people interacting with the individual post. So reach is kind of like impressions. Engagement is likes and comments and things like that. This is Contact Us. How many people have done the Contact Us? This is the Contact Us button here. And there are other options. Let's see here. This is called the Call to Action button. So I can edit that. I don't have to have Contact Us. I could have Book Now, Send Message, all these options here. I just use that because it's the most appropriate one for me. So it'll tell you how many people use that. Then there's also the website click, and that refers to over here on the left where you have your website. If somebody clicks through there, they will tell you how many people have clicked through. I'm not really encouraging people. I don't actually post much on my website, so I'm not really looking to get a lot of clicks there. Response time, that's that messaging thing. So if people send you a message, here's messages here. People send you messages, they are going to tell you how many you've answered and then what the response time was. And let's see. Let's go to the left sidebar, just cover that really quickly. So here's that response time thing. That's visible to people who come to your page, I believe. No, not this one. Oh, here it is. This is what I was talking about. Typically replies within an hour. Okay. And that's the thing that you can change within a setting. So if you don't want the average, you can set that to whatever you want. But this is stuff personally for you. So these are the total number of likes. The post reached this week. This is boosting your post if you want to advertise. You can invite friends to like the page. It'll help you do that. If you do that, it's not bad to do that, to invite your friends to like your page, but I would limit it to once a year. You don't want to bombard your friends all the time, asking them to like your page. The last thing I want to show you, it's 1 o'clock now, so we've reached an hour. Give me 5 more minutes because I just want to show you insights. And this is the part that I find that people who have Facebook pages, even for a very long time, they don't even really know it's there and they don't know how to use it. So insights is where all the gold is in terms of information about how your site is being used, how many visitors. So what you're seeing here is an overview. So first off, you're seeing page likes, post reach, and engagement. Again, that's an overview. For more details, you can click these buttons. We'll get to that in a minute. Then it shows you your 5 most recent posts, and it shows you the reach and the engagement. So the blue is for post clicks, the pink is for likes, comments, and shares. If you got paid advertisements, that would show up here as well. Oh yeah, see if I click over it. Now, none of mine are paid, but if you did do paid posts, that would appear here as well. Shows you what type of post it is. Certain types of posts, when you analyze this, certain types of posts will demonstrate that they're more effective than other types of posts. So this is really your information control center to understand what your followers like and what they don't like. Angela is asking, is the Insights feature only for community pages? No, it's for every single page. As far as I know, I have it on my publishing news media one for Mary and Pierre-Louis as well. So I don't think it matters what type of page you have. Now, this is the part that I really want to show you. These are pages to watch. So you can rank your page. So this is Explore Historic Houses. And then you can select other pages and see how you compare. So here I am. I've got 2.1 thousand followers. My likes are up 1.3% from last week. I've got 22 posts this week, and I've got 1,000 engagement. So Historic Deerfield, they've got 2.9 thousand total likes. They're up 1% from last week, and they've only posted 3. So you can see how you compare. So like some of these other pages, they're way, way beyond where I'm at, but I like to have them there because I can learn from them. So one of the things, if you click on them, it'll say this week's top post from that page. So that post there had 209 likes, 5 comments, and 56 shares. And of course, it's a beautiful little foliage thing. This one as well. So you can see what's working for other people like that. Now, keep in mind that total page likes is not something to be thoroughly impressed by, okay? So like Old Sturbridge Village has 34,000 likes, but their engagement this week is 1.6 thousand. My engagement this week is 1,000, but I only have 2,000 likes. So therefore, my page is more engaged. I'm engaging more because I only have 2,000 followers and 1,000 of them are engaged. Unlike this page has 28,000 likes and she's got 47,000 engagement, which is huge. That's why she's got this big bar here and all the rest of us are little blips. However, she posted 131 times to get that. And that's insane. That's not a strategy that I want to follow. I've done 22 posts this week. That's probably pretty typical for me. I will, at the minimum, do 1 post a day. I'll probably do somewhere between 1 and 5 a day. And if I do those multiple posts, I'll spread them out 3 to 4 hours. And you can add pages. So you just go here and let's see. Well, I don't know. Say I put like Ancestry, a big site here, Ancestry.com. That's the. They only have 13,000 likes. It seems kind of crazy, but so that's all you do. You just add them, and then they appear. It has to sort itself out, but then they'll appear. Now they appear in your list. So that's all there is to it. You just hit add pages. Okay, I'm going to answer the question that you're all thinking right now. Does that person get notified that you're watching them? The answer is yes. They do get notified, but they don't know by whom. So they'll get a little notice that says somebody added you to their watch list, but they don't know who it is. It could be any of the, gazillion people on Facebook. Harry is saying, can I edit about in settings on an Yeah, absolutely, Harry, definitely. I would suggest that all of you, if you haven't done it recently, go back and check your About and Settings tabs or pages on your and change the settings for sure. It's like every time I go there, I say something a little bit different. All right, I am okay. So I think we'll stop there. Just know that you can click into these. Oh, I didn't add. I don't think I have any videos here. No, I don't, unfortunately, not on this page. But you can get some really nice detailed video information if in that link, and click all these links for detailed. Actually, let me show you the likes real quick. I swear I'll stop after this. So these are the unlikes. So like I said, there's always that's one unlike each one of those, and it's kind of cool. And let me see if I can click on that. Okay, it'll tell you the like sources, whether they came onto your page. It was a page suggestion. Remember I told you if you wanted to be included in that page suggestion. So somebody liked my page from one of those page suggestions, and then unlike sources as well. So somebody went on my page and unliked it from there. So you can get quite a great deal of information. And let me just go through to see which one of these I didn't. That one we did. That one we did. Okay. I just want to point these two posts out, and I'll leave you at that. This is a podcast. I'll put it in the chat box. It's a social media marketing podcast episode. This is what got me really focusing on Facebook pages. These two women, they have this Facebook page called Quirky Mamas, and they grew that page to like over millions of followers organically after Facebook started limiting our reach. And this podcast is all about how they did it. So when I listened to this, I went to my Explore Historic Houses page, which was kind of waning at that point, and I used it as my testing ground, and I started to implement what they were doing. However, I am not doing it to the extent. I don't have that kind of time. These people like do this full time. All they do is like post to that page. But the ideas behind it are very good and something you can learn from. And then this last one, I can't show you the full post because I think that would be copyright, but I just want to point this out. This particular blog post, it's called Facebook Marketing Mistakes You Can Overcome. It's got some really good ideas. I think it came out recently. I just saw it today. Let's see, is there a date here? Yep, October 19th. So it just came out yesterday. There are some really good points in that blog post that are a follow-up nicely with what I've been talking about today. Tim has two questions. If you have a blog publishing to your personal page from network blogs, how do you get it to post to your business page? You can tell network blogs to post to your business page as well, Tim. So you just have to fiddle around a little bit in network blogs, but you can definitely do that. I've done it in the past. I don't do anything automatically anymore myself. I prefer the control of manually doing it, but I know you can definitely do it because I used to do it to both my personal wall and to my page. Then your other question is, how can you share from your personal versus business to a group? Are you talking about sharing any post to a group? You just have to go to that. You go to the share button. And you just have to slow down and read everything and click and say, oh, okay, there it is in a group. And then then you have to type in the group here. Okay. So that's how you would do it. I guess hopefully that answers your question. And then Pam is asking, any thoughts on whether a profile photo for a research business Facebook page should be a photo of you or more of a brand image? Honestly, I don't think it matters. If you have a logo that is recognizable and clear, then I'd say that's perfectly fine. You don't need to use an image of yourself. So go ahead and use a logo if that's what you prefer. No, my mug is everywhere. So, I don't actually have it here. Whoa, it's such a surprise. But I'm probably going to change it and put it here because this looks silly having this house here and then having that house there. I really need to have something different. Either I could put a logo here or I could put my picture here. But yeah, you don't have to do a picture of yourself. June is asking, if it's a closed group, you can't always post to it even if you're a member. Okay, well, there are going to be certain restrictions like that when you're using Facebook. Pages are open and public, so there's no restrictions going to a page, but yeah, definitely. I mean, you will have problems going the other way. So if you're sharing from somebody's personal wall, it might not work. One trick I want to tell you is one of the two tricks actually. So how do you grow your page organically if Facebook is not showing your post to all the people who like your page? What you want to do is likes is, that's nice that you're getting likes, but that's not really where the gold is. What you want are posts that will be shared, because when your posts are shared to other people's walls, then that's when other people who aren't already following you will see them, and then they will like your page. So that's critical. You want to strive for shares more than just likes. And so you can even say, hey, if post something, say, hey, if you like this, share it on your wall. Just kind of mention that to people every once in a while. And then another thing that will really help grow your page is first post to your Facebook page, especially if it's something public, and then share it from here to your personal wall. And actually, I wouldn't just do share now. I would do on your own timeline, and then I'd maybe type something, and that will double the reach of your post. So that's a really good way to build momentum. So encourage shares, and also share your posts on your own personal wall. Don't do it all the time, because if I shared my the 4 or 5 posts from this page to my personal wall, people would go crazy. So you have to show restraint, but that's a really good strategy for growing your wall, growing your page organically. Yeah, Russ is saying, when branding, be consistent. Absolutely. All right. If there aren't any more questions, I'll give it one more minute. And so I tried to cover a lot. I hope that wasn't too much information all in one. We could probably just do Facebook Insights for 1 whole hour, but at least this gets you off to a good start, and hopefully you'll go poking around and really exploring what you can do. I will do a second series. So right now we're in the starting from scratch series. There will be a more advanced strategic series. I'll probably wait a couple weeks in between and then do that, and we'll take this to the next level. All right, I don't see any more questions coming through. Have a great week.